Lovecraft Country, Episode 3. I can't believe I'm making this many videos about this show. I had no way planned on it, but for those of you who are curious or on the fence about the show and want to see whether I decided to completely drop it or continue on, this one's for you. So I think I finally figured out what this show is trying to be, and that is a Monster of the Week show where the characters are introduced to a threat and then destroy that threat or solve that problem all in one episode. Meanwhile, there is a very loose narrative thread overarching the whole thing that will hopefully culminate to something interesting by the end of the series. Well, time has passed. We know Uncle George has died. We have a very brief funeral sequence. This is kind of the disappointing part, is that for such a great character, I felt like he was taken away too soon, replaced by an arguably less interesting character, Atticus's father, but that character does provide some nice conflict as shown in this episode. So back to George. I miss the guy. He was a cool character. I felt like he provided a nice middle ground for these competing characters like Letitia and Atticus's father. Now that he's gone, we're not really left with that element, and hopefully the story and the interactions of the characters don't suffer from it. We see the sexual tension between Atticus and Letitia finally broke. She takes a leading part in this episode, and we learn she has purchased a house with money. Where did it come from? We don't know. So as a viewer, we're kind of left in the dark a bit about where these characters have been since the last time we saw them and where they're going. And I think for me, really, it was difficult because, yes, we did see George's funeral, but I feel like it was glazed over quite a bit. Like there were some nice small moments, like when his wife saw the empty place setting and the Ouija board sequence. Now, I know the show must go on. I know we got to keep moving forward, but I feel like for a character that was so well established in the first episode and played a pretty pivotal part, I guess, in the second one, he was just kind of erased with not much care. There's some cool stuff that happens here, and I think tonally it was very consistent with episode 2. So I just have to throw episode 1 completely out the window, because episode 1 to me felt like something that was setting up a grander plot, a deeper narrative, one that was going to be just steeped in character development and interesting revelations. But now this feels much more akin to something like Jordan Peele's Get Out, where yes, it's horror, but it's kind of goofy. And I will stand by my claim that this is definitely Goosebumps for adults. I don't even think it strives into the Twilight Zone territory much at all. I think the closest thing we get to from Lovecraft is the doctor who was doing experiments, but the whole thing's kind of hokey. It has almost a little bit of a Haunted Mansion vibe to it. But at least they're consistent. At least I feel like they're creating this very pulp horror feeling, and we will see if it continues. My gut tells me yes. I still don't know why they presented the first episode like they did. I felt like it was a bad start, but anyway, that's beside the point. I think I know where things are going in terms of structure and tone and character. We don't really get a whole lot of development here other than the relationship between Letitia and Atticus. We're also reintroduced to the racism, which was mostly absent from the second episode. So I feel like the setting's finally back. There's a cool haunted house, which I think is more in line with what we should expect. But the question is, am I sticking with it? Am I ditching it from here? And the answer is, I think I'm going to stick with it. I would say the show is above average so far for me. It has some fun moments. It has some gory moments. I think it's a nice mixture of that Evil Dead-esque kind of tone. And Lovecraft, using his name in the show, I feel is a bit misleading. The content here is just on the periphery of Lovecraftness. I don't feel like it deserves the name. And you can imagine a lot of people who are big Lovecraft fans coming to this because of the name. Their expectations are set one way, and then they're presented with this. So I think as a show, it's fine. I think the content is fine. I think it fills a certain genre of horror. But calling it Lovecraft, it's it's pretty damn misleading. And now I haven't read the novel, so it's hard for me to know where this ends up. Maybe it does get a little bit more into that, and maybe Lovecraft does fill a bigger role in this, his name, or I should say his mythos to a degree. I was on a low from episode 2, so my expectations weren't very high. I didn't think it would have taken much to get me back on track with the show, and in fact, that's where I am right now. I really need to stop making videos about this, but I told myself and I told you guys that if for some reason I would stop, I would tell you. But then also in the last video, I left it open-ended where am I going to continue with this? Let's see how episode 3 goes. And the answer is yes. For now, I'm going to continue to move forward. Hopefully make to the season finale, where I will then do a video on the full season review. Have you watched it? What do you think? Did episode 3 redeem itself? Did it at least put you in a spot where you knew what to expect, where you didn't feel like the carpet was ripped out from under you? And at least you know where this thing's going. At least you know if you're going to like moving forward or not. Please comment below. I'd love to hear what you think about it. I did see a few other videos posted where people were somewhat taken aback by episode 2, so I wasn't the only one, thankfully. Is it a bad show? No. Is it a great show? No, not yet. That remains to be seen. I have liked Jordan Peele's other work, and I feel like if you like that too, this fits right into that category. All right, I'm done. I swear, I'm done. You won't hear back from me until the season review. I'm putting a stake in the ground here. Even if I decide I hate the show after the next episode, I will see it through because I'm tired of making videos on this. You're probably tired of watching it. And thank you for watching. Please leave your comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.